Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This is your girl Tashi, and I am back with another video. Yes, so we're gonna be reacting to Benny Hill show officially ended after this went horribly wrong. Let's get straight to the video. If you hear a little tapping noise, that's my dog going back and forth.
Oh, the wonderful Benny Hill show. Just why did this outrageous comedy program end? And did you hear? Was Benny Hill's gravesite really dug up? Welcome to Do You Remember? I am Nostalgic Nick.
Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It's very nice to be with you all once again.
The Benny Hill Show, viewed by millions of households in the UK and distributed worldwide in
especially here in America. Millions of people in America was watching this show. I was one of them. Even though I wasn't supposed to. I was a little kid.
140 countries. But Tim's television pulled the plug after 3 decades, and people close to Hill believe the cancellation hastened the comedy legend's death. So all Benny Hill fans, or fans of UK TV, you're not gonna want to miss this crazy story. Before we dive in, hit that thumbs up icon to show some support, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new video. Laughter and controversy. The Benny Hill Show was a variety show largely influenced by American burlesques and silent films. And you could always expect the unexpected when you tuned in. Every episode featured plenty of slapstick comedy and no shortage of sexual innuendo.
It's okay. It'll all be coming off in a minute.
Benny also used the power of the film medium to do things that weren't possible on stage in what he called live animation. Using camera tricks, he frequently created comedic illusions and simultaneously played multiple characters in the same sketch. Hill parodied both British and American celebrities and frequently performed humorous songs between sketches loaded with double.
I remember some of these clips because I react to them. So after this, you can go check them out on my channel. But I react to some of these clips.
Because if your bristles are thin and fluffy, then they will fall out all the time.
But the show was best known for its chase scenes set to the tune of Boots Randolph's yakety sax. Hill undercranked the camera to add a comedic Keystone Cops effect, but instead of bumbling police officers pursuing bank robbers, Hill was typically pursued by an angry mob of scantily clad women. Always after a series of mishaps and misunderstandings got way out of hand. Was the Benny Hill Show misogynistic? Critics of the Benny Hill Show accused the series of objectifying women, and numerous actresses claimed they were sexually harassed behind the scenes. Dancer Nikki Kriker claimed Hill once squeezed her breasts too hard in rehearsal, and former Page 3 girl Stephanie Martin and punk queen Hazel O'Connor both claimed they were offered jobs in exchange for performing sexual favors. Benny Hill denied all allegations. The dancers were known collectively as Hill's Angels and included Jane Leeves, who would later play Daphne in Frasier.
No, she was in what? I mean, she is from the UK. She's from the UK. Wow.
Female cast members say they were well treated on set and claimed Hill considered them as family. Some of the other dancers considered him a father figure.
He didn't like me smoking a cigarette. I wasn't allowed to do that. If I had a boyfriend, he wanted to meet him.
Benny was very close friends with Sue Upton, who served as the troupe's leader and helped him recruit dancers. She denied the show was misogynistic and said, quote,
"It was the sexy girls that always came out on top."
Vulture's Justin Gray claimed the show's gags, quote, walk the line between sexism and outright misogyny, but they are no more lascivious than the antics of silent Mark's brother Harpo. Jemima Lewis from the UK's Independent said, by today's standards, Hill's sketches seem tame to the point of quaintness. Why was Benny Hill cancelled? The Benny Hill Show was one of the UK's most profitable exports, thanks largely to its success in the US. The show was viewed by over 21 million UK viewers in 1977, but had less than 10 million viewers per episode in 1989. Hill cranked up the show's bawdiness levels in a desperate attempt to boost ratings, but viewers' tastes were just changing.
He's great.
He's awful.
He's great.
He's awful.
He's great.
In May of 1989, Hill was sacked by Tim's Television's head of light entertainment, John Howard Davies, saying, quote, "The audiences were going down, the program was costing a vast amount of money, and he was looking a little tired." Davies told the Guardian newspaper, quote, "The show was past its sell-by date," and said, "Benny was alright when he was young, but when you're in your 60s, it's a slightly different matter to leer at a pretty girl." The firing was a complete surprise to Hill, who was utterly devastated.
I mean, things do change when you get older. It's not the same anymore when you're younger. So I kind of understand in a way, especially a lot of TV shows, especially when the kids are young. It's like, it's more funnier when they're young, but when they get older, it's like, I don't know how to explain. It doesn't hit the same anymore, if that makes sense. It just doesn't, because they're more mature now. So it's like, it's not as funny anymore. So I kind of understand in a way.
Davies replaced the show with Rowan Atkinson's comedy series Mr. Bean and produced several episodes.
Wow. Wow.
Television. Despite being an international television star, Benny Hill lived a very private life. He had numerous close female friends, but was very unlucky in love, as 3 different women rejected his marriage proposals. According to the show co-writer and personal friend Dave Freeman, comedy was his only mistress, and he spent all of his spare time watching TV and writing down ideas for sketches.
Benny was a perfectionist to the point of not being a very likable person.
Even if he was on vacation, he'd write down ideas on anything he could get his hands on, including newspapers and shirt cardboard. Then he'd just mail it home. He also lived very unostentatiously and rarely spent money, despite having a reported net worth of nearly $10 million. Benny Hill never owned a home or an automobile. He only occupied one room of his rented 2-room flat and never decorated or hung up any pictures. When Michael met Benny...
Wait, what? I mean, I've heard that he's a very quiet person who, you know, I heard that he was very shy, from my understanding. He was very shy. He stayed to himself. Yeah, that's what I've heard about him, but I didn't know that that's what he... I mean, if he was happy, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. You know? Wow.
Benny Hill became a reclusive couch potato after his show was sacked, and his health rapidly deteriorated. He had a mild heart attack in February of 1992, and doctors recommended he undergo bypass surgery, which he declined. Just a week later, he was diagnosed with kidney failure, but refused to undergo dialysis. But while he was resting at London's Royal Brompton Hospital, he was visited by none other than the King of Pop himself. Michael Jackson told Benny that he had videotaped every show, and he was his favorite comedian in the world. And the 2 entertainment icons reportedly brainstormed sketch ideas, including a bit where they would undercrank the camera to make Benny dance faster than Michael. It would have been an amazing collaboration, but Benny suffered a coronary thrombosis and died 2 months later. It also took nearly a week.
That was so nice of Michael Jackson to go visit him. Oh my God, rest in peace in both of them. That was very, very sweet. Oh man. I wonder if other people went to go visit him. I'm assuming it can't be just be Michael Jackson. Gotta be some other big celebrities went and go and visit him. That was nice though.
Week before Hill's body was even discovered, Benny's press agent, Dennis Kirkland, was contacted by neighbors who complained about a smell coming from his flat. When Benny did not answer the door, Kirkland climbed the 3rd floor balcony and saw his old friend slumped over the couch.
And I could see him through the window, and he just looked so sad.
Benny's household clutter reportedly also included a cupboard full of awards and a large stack of uncashed paychecks. Why was Benny Hill's grave dug up? Alfred Hawthorne Hill served as a mechanic and truck driver in the British Army, but was transferred to the Combined Services Entertainment Division after his commanding officer saw his comedy act. Then he took the stage name Benny in homage to his hero Jack Benny. The young comedian was also heavily influenced by Laurel and Hardy and Charlie Chaplin. When Hill was presented with the Charlie Chaplin Award in 1991, he learned his hero was also a fan. After the ceremony, Chaplin's son Eugene showed Benny his father's study, which contained an entire shelf full of taped shows, and informed Benny that his father thought he was the greatest. Hill also had something else in common with Chaplin. His gravesite was desecrated shortly after his death. At the time of his death, the only will he created left his estate to his parents, who had died years before. Rumors began to fly that Benny was buried with his fortune, but the would-be thieves came up empty-handed and left the body undisturbed. Benny's estate was eventually divided among his 7 nieces and nephews, and his grave was resealed and topped with a huge stone slab to discourage further disturbances. Critics were never kind to the Benny Hill Show, but the series was even more popular than Monty Python in its heyday. Benny Hill received a BAFTA TV Award for Best Writer in 1972, and the series was nominated for Primetime Emmys in 1980 and 81. Yakety Sax was voted #1 on the ITV special The Nation's Favorite Theme Tune, and a musical based on Benny's career premiered in London's West End in 2021. So, did any of you actually see that West End production? Were you a fan of The Benny Hill Show? Or did you think it was offensive? What was your favorite gag from the show? And who was your favorite Hill's Angel? Get in the comments and tell us all your memories about Benny Hill. If you enjoyed our rewind today, please...
I know I didn't just see what I just saw. Okay. Anyway, I still love this guy. Love him. Benny Hill, his name will live on forever. His show will live on forever. We're still talking about this man in 2023. And it's almost 2024 and we're still talking about this man. So obviously his name, his show, the stuff that he brought in, the laughter, everything is gonna live on forever. Okay, the next generation is gonna start watching Benny Hill. He was the man. He was very, very funny. Oh my god, very funny. Even though, like I said, when I was young, I wasn't really allowed to watch him, because certain stuff that he does on the show. But they were still playing. The thing is, when I was watching it, I watched it late though. I watched it in the 90s. They would show his I guess they were showing repeats on a certain channel. I think it was on channel 5 here in America. It was at channel 5, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they were showing on channel 5, either channel 5 or 4, one of them. And I remember they used to show his show every night. So I don't know if that was like a rerun or what. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't even know. But I remember watching it in the 90s. I think the show came out, I think they say it came out in the 70s or in the 80s, I believe. Yeah, but I watched it late, so yeah. So comment below. Let me know if you're a fan of Benny Hill. When did you start watching it? Start watching his show. And how you feel about this video. Comment below. And I'll see you lovely people. Take care. Bye and peace.